So here we go, welcome back to another edition of Game Day. I arrived at the Unibowl Stadium as Town take on Bolton. Can Kieran McKenna make it 3 wins in a row as Town boss? I'm going to bring you the sights and sounds as standard. I'll speak to fans after the game on the result. Hope you enjoy as ever. Let's go!
Hey Ross, it's John. Oh, back down to earth, aren't we? I was so excited about coming today. It's the first game I've seen in the new year in person, and first time I've seen McKenna's Ipswich. And I thought, we started really promisingly, but unfortunately, I think Bolton tactically outdid us. I think they pressed higher. In the first 5 or 6 minutes, it was all us, maybe 10 minutes, and then they just pressed us back a little bit. And we seemed to play a lot along the lines rather than forward. And we had a few errors as well. Wolfie made one mistake in the first half. Edmondson made a mistake. Walton, they all covered each other. Walton covered one. Walton was sound as always. Edmondson probably had his poorest game I've seen, which I guess everybody's allowed one, and he's been fantastic throughout the season so far. That game probably had a 0-0 feel to me rather than a 2-0 defeat, but when you're 1-0 down and you concede, and I want to see that goal back because it seemed a bit of it came off Bolton and then came free, but we gifted them the second goal and that just killed us. What do you say to that? Listen to the fan social earlier on and people predicting 10 points or 12 points, and then we're typical Ipswich. We've failed at the first hurdle, these little mini this month's games, if you like, or the next 4 games. So McKenna's going to probably, let's see how he responds. I presume he's going to analyse the game really well and say that we just weren't quite good enough and we didn't really cut them. We didn't have the penetration. But, on to the next game, I suppose. But that little bit of false optimism perhaps has just had a little bit of a kick in today. Disappointed to come away from a game where I don't think they're that clever. They just play quite well. With a 2-0 defeat. Really disappointing. Anyway, onwards. Safe journey home, boys.
Right. Hang on. I've not been on a while, so I've been on hiatus. I'm a bit like Elton John. I've got on another comeback tour. We're here by the Hotel Dry Riser outside the Bolton Stadium. What do you think of that, Mike? Swear jar at the ready, guys.
Has he got his quack?
He might do.
I'm really disappointed because yet again they're just. Before Gillingham, they looked like they had their heads up and they were looking around at players and they were passing nice and fluid. They saw where players were running, everything else. This time they looked like they were just guessing. They were putting balls through,
going through the motions,
willy-nilly and everything, going for the motions and then going, oh, I thought you were over there. No, we're not over there, are we? And I think Bolton just grew and grew into the game. Realised that we could put a few passes together. Our wings were just totally taken out of the game. Yeah. Not the usual crosses down, into the box and stuff like that. It's just so annoying because here we go. We have this pressure about McKenna. 3 games and he's going to be the all-time Ipswich manager to win 3 games in a row.
Bolton hadn't won in 5, was it? Or
Bolton's not won in 5.
Or lost 5 straight or something.
They're not won in 6.
Yeah. And along come Ipswich.
They're 3 points above the relegation zone.
Along come Ipswich.
And along come Ipswich. 3 points.
Yeah.
There you go.
To me, as a game, it looked like for 70 odd minutes, 2 teams trying to play the right way of football, but not knowing really how to do it. He's got his pie.
No, I've got pie.
You don't get him at Portman Road. You used to moan about that, so that's positive. We'll put a positive spin on it. This is really the test, isn't it? Really, it reminds me of the Sunderland game. There's pressure on the home team to go and do something. They've lost 5 on the bounce or whatever it was. we could have really put them under the cosh by scoring that early goal or doing that. I think all our best chances were off target, unfortunately. And then once that goal went in, that was inevitable that we were going to crumble.
I think we'd lost the game by then. We was hoping for a draw.
Yeah, I think Fridge, bless him. Yeah, I don't think it was
still a bit disappointing.
He was singing Amy Winehouse in the week, but I think he'll be singing the blues on the way home because that was a bit of a poor mistake.
What gets me about this team is that we constantly get lifted by results, and there's all sorts of catchphrases going on about, oh, this is it. We seem to be on our way. Look at the run of games that we've got. Yeah. Only difficult side is maybe Sheffield Wednesday away. That might be a bit tricky. But the rest of them, 3 points.
We fall at the first hurdle.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Again.
But I think one thing that hasn't changed is the players. We've seen this all season. Inconsistency. We've gone from some of the best performances I can remember in recent years on the road to performances like today, which aren't really of the standard of a team you expect, of the quality that we've got, or of a team that is going to challenge for promotion. But yeah. Anyway, we're back at Portman Road. First home game of 2022, isn't it? So we'll see what Kieran McKenna gets.
Reception gets. Form as well.
I don't know. I think
they've just got an equaliser.
Hang on. Cammy's just come in. They've just got an equaliser at Sunderland.
These guys watching this will know already anyway, so I don't know why we're telling them.
Yeah. So there we go. But, see you at Portman Road. Adios.
Tex here. Disappointed. Went to Gillingham last week and they played absolutely brilliant, and we come here and it just, another performance that we've had before in the previous regime, really. It was absolutely shocking. Didn't get going. I think, admittedly, Bolton, they played to stop us. You could see they did, and it worked for them. I met a Bolton fan before the game. He said, I asked him what he thought. He wasn't confident at all. He said they do play well, but they haven't scored it late. Just can't seem to score. That, and the fact that they haven't. They've lost the past 4 games before today, and they've gone and won today. It's just typical Ipswich every time. It just seems like there's a curse. Whoever's the manager, there's always the same curse. There's always these stats, and as soon as we turn up, break them, but not for the good. It's just getting annoying. Fridge, unfortunately, gave away the second. I don't want to say him too much because he has been really good for us. He's been one of our better signings, but you can't fault the fact that he has given us the second away for us. Effectively, probably already lost the game, but it's you can't. He has been good for us, so we can't sort of slate him too much. Burns, I thought, looked a bit sort of knackered on the right hand side for today. He was off his best, definitely. Penny, I just don't think he's good enough for us. I think that's where McKenna needs to look for in the January transfer window. I think that's where he needs to strengthen, definitely. KVY looked right when he came on, but again, none of the substitutes really made a difference. Selena, again, I do like Selena, but you only on him for that magic moment, and he just didn't produce for us today. Chapman was a little bit, brought something, but not much. Aluko today had a good game. I thought made 1 or 2 mistakes, but they all did. But yeah, just never really got going, and come all the way here for that after last week. Wasn't going to come today actually, but then Gillingham happened last week, and then decided to come like Sunday, Monday, bought a ticket, and kind of wish I didn't now, but there you go. Loyal supporter.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm reacting to Bolton Wanderers 2, Ipswich Town 0. And I came here full of hope, and I left with a familiar sense of Ipswich despair. For a team that haven't won in God knows how long in Bolton Wanderers, I was really surprised with how they played. I thought their game plan was excellent. They came at us, they closed us down really quickly, and it just meant we didn't have much time on the ball. We actually didn't pass around too badly. Like, first 20 minutes, I thought it was 2 teams playing like quite nice passing football out the back. We were pressing them high, they were pressing us high, and it was a bit of a stalemate. But then they just pushed higher up the pitch, and they pushed us back, and we were pretty much camped in our own half. We were really struggling with that, and we're quite fortunate to go in at 0-0. Second half, we just didn't get going. I'm going to pick out Wes Burns, actually, because Wes Burns at Portman Road, he always runs to the byline and always gets crosses in. He wasn't doing that at all today. I'm not really sure why. So we just didn't really have the same fluidity that we have in previous weeks. Obviously, to concede 2 goals in the way we did is incredibly disappointing, especially the second goal. If you haven't seen it, you'll be absolutely head in your hands when you watch the highlights later on. Edmondson, absolute faux pas, and just it killed the game off, basically. We weren't bad. But Bolton were better. Bolton were more well organised, and they cut through us far too easily at the back. So, questions for McKenna tonight. It'll be really interesting to see how he reacts. I'm still really positive, though. Come on, Ipswich.
Good evening, it's Darren and Lewis. We just watched a bit of a frustrating game, a bit of a repeat of the Sunderland away game where we didn't really get what we deserved, and we've come away losing 2-0. So, to be fair, I think Bolton played really well, put us under a lot of pressure in the first half. We couldn't really move it. It was all just across the back four, and Bond and Norwood were just sort of trying to run the channels, but that didn't work. And then looked like we switched back to a back four at the second half. Much better, started to get on top, started to create some opportunities, but no clear cut. And then we get done by, a couple of dodgy goals. Edmondson's first mistake of the season. He'll be gutted. And we come away 2-0 really, when it probably a draw was probably a fair result. What do you think, Lou?
I agree with the majority of what you just said, which is a good start.
That's unusual.
I think let's start with the positives, shall we, from an experience point of view. I think the Bolton fans today were brilliant, great noise, so credit to them. Fair play. Something I don't normally say, but the referee was good. We give referees a lot of stick, so when they do well, we should say.
I did recognise him, so I don't know if he was an ex-Premier League ref, but he's refed at a high level. Anyway.
Yeah. So he was all right. Linesman was not good. Words I'm not allowed to say. As for the performance, it was a nothing game, to be honest, until the goal, and it was. Games like that, it's always going to be a scrappy goal, isn't it? It's not going to be a high quality moment. It was always going to be something like it was. I think we reacted well. We then put them under pressure, and you can see a bit of nerves. And I think it was the best we played all game when we went 1-0 down. And I'll tell you what, I think if we'd stayed 1-0, we could have got something from this. But to give away that second goal the way we did, killed it, and it's gutting. But I'm not going to be too harsh on George Edmondson. George Edmondson saved us so many times this season, been man of the match in so many games, and he's had one bad one. So, it's unfair to turn on him now. I think the big thing this does is it puts pressure on the next game. If we bounce back and we play well in the next, 3-4 games, put a bit of running together. Accrington next at home. Then all of a sudden we look back in this game and people go, oh, it was a blip, and we're all happy. If this knocks the momentum that we had over the last 2 games, then all of a sudden things look about the same as what we were last year. Last year, well, at the start of this year. I think it's a bit of pressure on the transfer window. Got a week and a bit left.
Yeah, and at the end, all the players come over and clap and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And Bolton gave quite a prolonged clap.
Goodbye, yes.
And I don't know if he said thank you or something to the fans. So I hope we're not reading too much into that. Hopefully he's staying because he's a quality keeper. He saved brilliant save in the first half when, mistake from the back from Wolfie. But hopefully we have some news this week before next Saturday. If not, Hladkey's my boy, so I got full faith in him. If that's him in goal for the rest of the season, that's fine by me. So we're going to sit in the traffic now, ponder another defeat. I have brand new trainers that I got for Christmas that are meant to be lucky. I have my lucky socks on with the 22. That didn't work, so I might see if I can take them back. I've still got the receipt. We'll see. But anyway, take care, everyone.